Hello everyone, welcome to SportsKhabri with me, Arati and Rishi, and interesting day today because we're going to discuss. I don't know what to call it. Is it a feisty topic? Is it some? Is it very touchy to sets of fans of Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma? I don't know, but we're going to decide who has had the better legacy as captain of Indian team, Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli. Both, of course, in their own right, top players, and yeah, I mean, we can keep talking about them for the rest of the day, but we got to focus on that captaincy. But Rishi, before you tell me who you're leaning towards in this debate, what have you made of like them as leaders? Are there very stark differences, or is there something similar? Because I see two very different characters.
Yeah, I mean, like the way both of them approach their game itself, you can say that they're entirely two different cricketing brains altogether. Like you see, Virat is someone who wants to, take it to the opposition, get in the face of the opponents, be the alpha dog. Like, he's there to compete, and he wants the opponents to know that if you're not on top of your game, we're right there. We're not going to let you slip up. Like that kind of fear factor he wants to project into the other team. Whereas you see Rohit Sharma is more like it's almost like how he is as a person itself has translated into him as a
Yeah,
captain and all his teams. Like he's never I don't like as much flustered. He's always laid back. He's relaxed. Looks like he always has things under control. He's never afraid to say random things which get caught on stump mic. It's
true.
it's like vibes captaincy, but then again, it's not like you need to be that Michael Jordan-ish figure to get the respect from the players. You see what all he has achieved, players automatically respect him for his tactics as well. So they're entirely two almost polar opposites of captains. Like it's
Fair
very
enough.
entirely different captaincies.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Then Adi, I'll come to you. And who are you leaning towards? Virat Kohli, who has left the better legacy? Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma? Quickly before that, Rohit Sharma took over 2022. Before that was Virat after MS Dhoni. He's captain for a longer period and all of that. But yeah, who are you going for?
I mean, firstly, when we talk over this topic itself is a very fiery, feisty topic. So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you want to talk about Virat and Rohit as a captain, right? I think you can dissect them into two different halves. One is Rohit Sharma
Mm-hmm.
being a one-day international captain, IPL captain. I think we should take that into consideration. When we talk about Virat, I think we have to talk more what he's done with the Indian Test team, right? Because again, if I talk about leadership, pure leadership in terms of trophies, and we look at compare the two captains in terms of winning trophies just purely, I think Rohit Sharma will obviously have more in terms of IPL Champions Trophy, the Champions League trophy, sorry, the one
No, no,
which.
bro. This is strictly India. Strictly India.
Yeah, but that's my point because if we only talk about Rohit in India, he's had a very, very short period of time. That's what I'm trying to say. Because you look at
Mm.
Virat, the amount of test matches he's captain for India versus Rohit Sharma, it's barely anything, right? He, as you said, became the full-time captain in 2022, the T20 World Cup, right before the T20 World Cup. So he's barely had 2 full years of captaincy compared to Virat, where he took on the test captaincies in 2014, if I'm not wrong, and then became the Indian team captain also. So in terms of that, it's very tough, right? But again, that's why I try to say like we can't compare these two because of what Virat has done for the, especially the test side is incomparable to what Rohit Sharma has done to the test. He's barely even captained a lot of games for India. He's only captained 9 games,
Mm-hmm.
and in that 5 were in India itself against England, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the thing. Like that, I think we have to talk about leadership, captaincy. I don't think we can take stats into this. I think we have to talk about what situations they came in, how they tackled those situations, and where they took India towards, right? Because if you talk about legacies, when Virat came into the Indian team, it's a total different environment to what Rohit Sharma came into, right? So I think
Mm.
we look at into those kind of situations. I think you'll actually look at Virat Kohli facing a lot of difficulties during his time, and showing better results in terms of where India were before he came into especially the test side to what they became compared to like again
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma, who's barely even played test matches compared to Virat.
Good for sure. And I think I know stats will probably be a little sort of, it'll be very harsh to put stats into it, but I will give you the stats. Rishi, Rohit Sharma in T20 cricket, 78% win record. Of course, in his games as Test captain, he's got 62.5%. Of course, a lot of those games played in India. And in Rohit Sharma and ODIs, he's got a 75.5% win record. Virat Kohli, to put this into context, as India T20 captain, has a 64.58% win record. In ODI, 68%. And in Test cricket, it's 58%. Now, I know it sounds a little harsh on Virat. And of course, with Rohit Sharma's also got, I think, a slightly better ICC tournament pedigree going into it. Finals in the 2023 World Cup. We're doing well in this current T20 World Cup. He's also got the previous T20 World Cup. We made it to the semis. So, yeah, I've got a few good numbers for him there. Virat would probably be a little lesser as compared to Rohit. But again, are these talking about circumstances? I think very important to put context to these numbers. And I'm just going to look at Test cricket alone. And I think Virat is just like, again, unfortunately, Rohit Sharma has not been tested in Test cricket as of yet, so it'd be unfair to judge him as compared to Virat on that front. But I think what Virat brought to Test cricket really changed the way India played cricket. I think we've had two captains in India who have changed the way India plays cricket.
Legendary captain.
How India looks up to sort of the bigger boys, and that's Saurav Ganguly, and now and in the more recent times is Virat Kohli. The way we went to Australia, the way we went to, and you see, bro, progressively when we went to England, we always did well under Virat. We went in 2018, we lost the series 3-1 if I'm not wrong, but we were good. We were really good in England after a long time. We were poor in 2014, we were poor in 2011. 2007 was the last time Rahul Dravid led India to success in England, and after that we hadn't seen anything. And then finally in 2018 we competed. And then in 2021, we were even better. We really competed, although we didn't win it in the end. We really looked like we would win it. So I think Virat, you can see the progression India have at least had in Test cricket. Under him, he had to change a lot of players, a lot of new guys coming in. I think even to the white ball setup. And I think when Virat took over, Varun Aaron was bowling for India. Umesh Yadav was a regular, consistent player. So I think there's a lot of things that Virat has done right, and I think mentality is above all most important. I would prefer Virat as a captain of my team if I was picking a captain tomorrow. So yeah, given what would you have to say for in this debate?
I mean, you have both pros and cons, right, for both Virat and Rohit. And like Adi said, it's like this pretty much the sample size for Rohit as a Test captain is almost non-existent. Like a series in against England here, and I think this Border Gavaskar Trophy that is going to happen once we go to Australia, I think that will give a decent-ish, a pretty clear picture as to what the Test team or the direction of the Test team under Rohit Sharma at least. But without that, it's a bit skewed, at least from the Test perspective. And like you said, Kohli's Test revolution was something we really needed. Like our whole squad was aging, and the whole fitness thing was, we were almost the last ones to catch up. Like the Australians had moved on, they were getting a much more fitter team. England have always been there. New Zealand, South Africa were almost over there. It felt as if we were the only ones who were lagging behind in that aspect. And
Yeah.
Virat, that and the best part is it was not just the fitness. That was almost, it was a byproduct of the mentality in itself. Like when you want to compete, like, and he led by example. It was not. I think the safest thing you can say is he never asked the team to do anything more than
That he didn't
all
do.
that he didn't do. He
Yeah,
led by
exactly.
example. Like he was always the fittest fielder. He was always the fittest person, and I don't think he had to demand that a lot from his players as well. Like you'd see that and you'd be like, yeah, this is the standard. This is the blueprint that I need to follow. And that, I feel that has gone a long way to not just the Test cricket. Like I think almost every cricketer now, you ask them what kind of fitness regime, what kind of, they'll all say, yeah, I look up to Virat in this, like in that aspect. Like I feel that is the biggest imprint that he's left on us, at least in
Correct.
Indian cricket, not if not a world cricket. And I can safely say that in world cricket itself, you ask a lot of cricketers, it'll be like, and aspiring cricketers or fans, it'd be like, yeah, dude, Virat's fitness and his commitment to the game is like second to no one. I feel that
Yeah.
has to be the biggest impact. But that is one, like, as there are positives, I feel there are also slight negatives, because just before Ravi Shastri took in, like, came over as the coach, we had Anil Kumble for a while, and
Yeah,
huge falling out with
yeah,
Anil Kumble, which led to
yeah.
him eventually resigning, and him saying that, yeah, he openly admitted that I had like an argument with the captain and we weren't meeting eye to eye. So there, of course, there are signs of, tussles. It was not just all positive, all bright and shiny. So there were a lot of give and takes.
Bro, 100%. But Adi, I've seen again a lot of ex cricketers and the best sort of people who've done it and seen it. They say that a lot of times, like, although your record might be really good in bilateral series, you are eventually judged on how many ICC trophies you have or how well your team does in ICC tournaments. In that front, do you think Rohit Sharma just has the better of Virat? And I mean, like, what do you think? Would you go Rohit or Virat if you had to pick a captain for your team?
I mean, if you talk about ICC, to be fair, Virat only had two ICC tournaments where he captained: the World Cup in 2019 and the T20 World Cup, which we didn't make it to the semi-finals also. And if you
Yeah,
take
yeah,
out that,
yeah,
the Champions Trophy, obviously he was the captain at that time too. And three tournaments for him, three tournaments for Rohit Sharma till now. In terms of that, both of them have zero trophies in terms of, in terms of like having trophies. Like both of them have zero trophies. So we can't really put in ICC tournament performances. If you're talking about, okay, Rohit Sharma has basically lost what can you say, two games in the past three trophy, 2 to 3 games in the past three ICC trophies, ICC World Cups, right? So in terms of that, yeah, I mean that's great, but we have to take in context. When Virat was the captain of India, I think the competition was a bit more tougher, me personally, because in the 2019
yeah,
World
yeah.
Cup, that was a very, very competitive World Cup. I feel like all the teams in the semifinals had a chance to win the World Cup. It was very equal. Every team were very good. The so-called Big Four were all in their prime. Joe Root, Stokes. That England team was spectacular. Butler, Morgan, and then you go to Australia. They still had their Steve Smith, David Warners, Pat Cummins, etc. You come to New Zealand. New Zealand were also in great form in terms of having Kane Williamson, Tim Southey, Trent Bolt all in their peak, even Martin Kapil, etc. So I feel like that World Cup o- in the past four World Cups, which with what I personally seen, I think that 2019 World Cup was the toughest World Cup to win.
Okay, okay.
And to from there to what the last World Cup we saw, respectfully, it was a much more easier World Cup. I would have expected India to win. Playing a home World Cup, they should have won the
Yeah,
World Cup. So again, we talk about finals and we talk about semi-finals where India struggled. I think that's where a captain comes through. For example, in my opinion, the only reason Australia won that final last year was because of Pat Cummins, who showed his skill sets as a captain more than a bowler itself, right? And that's where you saw even Rohit Sharma lagged. Same thing with Virat Kohli. I can't say he's been a great captain in terms of ICC tournaments. So in terms of that, it's very tough to say, okay, Rohit Sharma is better because he took us to a final, semi-final, while Virat, again, semi-final, and then final, and then in the T20 World Cup, he didn't take us through. So you really can't judge based on that, right? Because if
okay.
you talk about Rohit Sharma, he's had a better team and had better situations to win a World Cup. I still believe like Virat Kohli trying to win the World Cup in 2019 is a tougher job, especially in playing in England, which is not even your home country. So it's not going to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
equal. It's going to be neutral there. Compared to like Rohit Sharma in India, where again the quality has decreased in my opinion compared to previous years. Best chance to win and still didn't win. So I think if you talk about that, I still think it balances out in terms of one day internationals, T20s, and like in terms of their captaincy. And that's why I take back to the test. I feel like if you want to talk about Virat, we have to talk about what he's done in test. If you want to talk about Rohit Sharma, I feel like it's easier for us to talk about what he's done with Mumbai Indians because that's where he's actually shown his pedigree as a captain, which again transferred into the Indian team, right? So yeah, I mean that's the
Who
thing.
would
I
you
feel like
prefer? Who would you have as your team's captain if you had to?
honestly, for me, honestly, I would say none. If I was talking about test,
If you have to choose, like you have to pick tomorrow World Cup final, 50 over final is happening. Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma to lead your team. Who you take?
bro, it's tough to say. I still think with this current crop of team, like what we have, I would choose Rohit Sharma because of what we have right now is what I have to talk. I still think Rohit Sharma is a better captain for these players because he's played with these guys a lot in terms of IPL. He knows how they move. He literally plays with what Bumrah, Sky, Hardik Pandya. It's just too much of like team built around with Rohit Sharma where I wouldn't rather have Virat Kohli trying to lead that team, right?
Bro,
Because if for example, see for me it's like with this team, if I say okay, the current Indian team, if Virat is the captain, I feel like Virat has taken that step down. And if you put him as a captain, it's going to be a bit more, at least for me, team dynamics might be a bit weird because Rohit Sharma, I feel like with the team he's built around, has a better rapport with all the players, knows them very well. He plays with them regularly in IPL. So with this team, I would rather have Rohit Sharma to, lead at least the one day side,
interesting.
right?
Bro, like
Yeah.
quickly just want to add that I just think this is where it makes a slight difference for me. I think Virat as a captain, leniency wise, is a little lesser, and I think players are more switched on. Do you guys remember in the game against Australia where Rishabh Pant almost got to a catch and then he just paddled the ball away with his hand when there was a chance of a run out and Rohit Sharma shouted at him? It was in the first couple of overs. At the end of Virat, that never happens. I don't think Rishabh Pant has the guts to do that if Virat is captain. I think in terms of aura, they bring a little. There's a little leniency with Rohit, like Adi says, he sort of gels with the youngsters as well, and maybe they take him for granted a little bit. I don't know, but to me, it just looks like if Virat is captain there, that won't happen. That doesn't happen. I think so.
Did you like see the recent comments of Kapil Dev where like
What do
he
you
was
say?
talking about how Rohit Sharma is a bit more lenient in terms of a captain. He was trying to basically say that I'll just say what he was trying to break down his words in. He was trying to say that how Rohit Sharma doesn't jump around too much. He's not very aggressive. He's more cool, calm, collected. Well, we know how Virat is. He's more into your face, the opposition. Even if your own teammate makes a mistake, at least previously, what he used to be a bit more like, he used to be very jumpy, aggressive, etc. And he said that, Rohit Sharma being a bit more cool, calm, collected helps the team gel better compared to where Virat is being more aggressive. And what his words was trying to say that, Rohit Sharma is a better captain because of these qualities where he's able to, be cool, calm, composed and get the best out of the players compared to, what Virat used to.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
I feel like that helps in one day internationals. And that's the reason I feel like the aggression. You look at aggression. I think that aggression you need in test matches because it's going to be a 5-day test series. Like you
It's a
will lose at
grind.
the end of the day, end of 2 days, end of 3 days. And I don't think Rohit Sharma is going to sit there and stand there in the sun and be aggressive on the third day. But you go back to Virat, he used to be there every single ball. And that I feel like that's the reason he used to be such a successful test captain. Because if you're going against Virat, energy to energy, you're going to lose no matter what. Because he's like a freak. He's gonna out energize you in anything, like in terms of running, in terms of being aggressive, fighting, batting, whatever it is. He's gonna out, match you in terms of the
Yeah,
levels.
yeah, hundred
And I
percent.
feel like that's what matters. But again, when it comes to international T20, I think you need to have a person who's more cool, calm, collected because it's very limited, right?
Yeah,
Because you're going to be in more pressure situations. I think in T20, that's one thing is he was never able to find it with India and even with RCB and IPL because he was always aggressive. He's always like, let's go. Like he's always in the face. But in the pressure situations, I think captains like, you go back, captains like Gilchrist, Dhoni, Rohit Sharma were always successful in these situations because they were just I feel like bit more calm, collected in these situations.
yeah, fair enough. Rishi, who do you prefer quickly? And just quickly tell me who you prefer, Virat or Rohit.
So can I
And
can
then
I
I
choose
just
a different white ball captain or red ball captain, please?
bro,
No,
please.
that we all know the answer. Even I will
That
tell
we
you.
all
That's
know
the
what how
best.
we're going to split it.
No, it's too
Choose
it's
one.
too hard, bro. Like, see, again, Rohit more ICC tournament finals. Both of them
Hmm.
failed in the Test Championship, but again, this semi-finals also we've reached, and we do look in pole position right now to win the World T20 World Cup.
Yeah,
Again, in like okay, we did lose the game in the we did lose the final World Cup, but up until that point, we were steamrolling teams. We weren't we weren't like, right from the get go. We weren't letting teams get in the game.
yeah,
And of
yeah.
course, you can't help See, it was not like Rohit Sharma became the captain and then we decided, okay, it's going to be a home World Cup. Everyone's going to be given in a platter. Like, it was already said long ago that India is going to host the World Cup. So even if Virat is going to be the captain, he's going to have the favorable conditions. It's tough luck that Virat had to, face out the place where it swings past corners in England. India had more favorable conditions, and to be fair, Rohit maximized it. Like, I can't think of a game where we were even breaking a sweat. We were in cruise control mode throughout. That level of dominance from an Indian team, even the 2011 World Cup team, we struggled a lot. We drew, we
Yeah,
quite
we had tough games.
against England.
But
So
but
Yeah.
we had to grind out wins.
We lost to South Africa also in that.
but 2011 was a total different story. We can't.
Yeah,
I
let's
feel like
leave
we-
2011 out
I'm
because
not, I'm not,
yeah,
I'm not trying
completely
to draw
different.
parallels. I'm just
But my
saying,
point is, for example,
Better teams.
the same example. Do you guys think if Virat Kohli was the captain, would it, the situation be different in the World Cup? For example, do you think we would have not reached the final in the same way?
Bro, I think if
think
Virat Kohli was the captain, we would have had a better chance of winning the 2019. Like for me, I think it's personal bias for me that
which one?
I
The,
feel,
the 50 over World Cup.
yeah. I think for me, bro, personal bias 2023. Sorry, it's just that I think I like captains like Virat. I resonate. I think as a person with somebody like a Virat Kohli or a Saurav Ganguly, like in sport, bro, be aggressive. Like I think I resonate more with that idea than say like an MS or Rohit who are more
Don't
calm.
compare MS and Rohit Sharma. Please don't
I'm
compare
not
them.
comparing them. I'm talking about demeanor.
Don't
I'm
put
not
them.
comparing them.
Don't call them similar. Please don't call them similar.
I'm not comparing them. What they've achieved is very different, of course, in the sport as captain at least. But regardless,
by
that's
the
what I'm
way,
saying.
Rohit Sharma beat MSD multiple times in IPL and Champions Trophy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He did beat. And yeah, coming back to
Multiple times.
Choose one, Rohit or
yeah,
Virat.
bro. I think for what he has done to Test cricket, I think I'll have to say Virat. Like the South Africa series, and I remember one of his first series as captain. We went and beat Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka after almost 2 decades. Like I think we lost the first game and then came back to win the series. So like right from there till going and competing in England, and then that. Do you remember that South Africa series where the ball was like playing in a landmine?
Yeah, it was very hard. Yeah, I remember that.
We
2018, 18,
yeah,
17.
exactly, 2018, the Centurion pitch, Wanderers pitches.
Yeah.
So like those are all Virat blueprint teams. So I can't look past that. So maybe I'm edging towards Virat.
Okay, quickly, the top three Indian captains of all time, fast. Like we're running out of time, so fast.
Okay, Adi, go first.
Number
Actually,
one, Rahane for me. Okay.
Bro, this guy is joking.
okay.
So bro, tell me,
Okay,
Rahane
yeah.
has never lost the captain. Bro, I feel like Rahane should have been the Test captain at a point of time, but again, that's a different topic for another day.
Okay. Fine. Top three
Okay.
Indian captains.
To be fair, again, I think it'll be MS Dhoni at number one. I can't tell Ganguly because I never witnessed. See, the thing is for me as an Indian fan or watching Indian cricket, it's been only three captains who consistently captain India, right? In terms of Virat, Dhoni, and Rohit Sharma. So if I have to rank them in order, I would put Dhoni, Dhoni, Virat, and then Rohit, because there is no other choice for me because I've seen more of the first over Rohit Sharma, so that would be my order.
So for me, I think it's a little different because I've seen India in the round robin and in 2007 World Cup, 50 over World Cup, Test series 2007.
Very less time, right? It was
Very less. But what I've been told is that is Ganguly's team. So I have seen Ganguly's team for at least 2 good years until things changed after Anil Kumble took over as captain of the Test team and then passed on to Dhoni. So for me, I think I've seen good 2-3 years of that team, and based on whatever I've seen, I have to say I think MS Dhoni. I don't think you take it away from him because of what he's achieved. But yeah, I think Ganguly is a very close second. If I had really seen Ganguly in the thick of it, I would have probably even argued that the Ganguly's team would be over MS because of the context again.
But that's what I say. Like when it comes to leadership, we have to take in context because when Ganguly came in was a total different era for India. We were literally the clowns at that time in terms of cricket, right? And the way he took us and made a serious.
Australia
we
and
didn't.
Steve
Because
were,
we were going through a
were
complete
dominating world
transition then.
cricket.
2001, 2002, and yeah, it was a complete transition. And then he got
So,
in the
so
he got in Zahir Khan, Ashish Mehra, Yuvraj Singh,
the
Harbhajan
whole
Singh. All of
narrative
these guys came under Ganguly.
the whole
So I
narrative
think
of Ganguly taking over was after the Azharuddin scam happened, he was taken away, and then Sachin became the captain. And then afterwards, Sachin hands in his resignation, and
Yeah.
then Ganguly comes in. So it was not
and
any good place to take in. It was, and the entire,
from one
and
of the
that
worst places.
Azharuddin scandal had rocked the nation, the cricketing nation. Like I've seen a few documentaries. It was like, dude, cricket is even today, but back then it was feisty, and the fans would really be, taking the rag dolls and burning it in front of your houses
Yeah,
and
yeah.
throwing things at your houses. It was brutal back in the day, and that was the scenario where Ganguly took over. And from whatever I've read, from whatever I've seen, the NatWest series wins, and
Yeah, I think it's special. That's what everybody tells.
maybe
At
there's
least
a little
that
bit of
generation, the
nostalgia in it.
90s kids.
Exactly. Maybe there's a little bit of nostalgia in it, but I can't look past Ganguly. And see, I'll end up, of course, picking Virat as our third captain. But
Yeah, for me, the number three is Rahul Dravid. I think the last captain to win in England
bro, okay, just a
for India.
shout. Our
Yeah.
only other
Because
World Cup
Rahul
winning
doesn't need to had
guys.
Rahul Dravid for the sake of it.
Yeah,
Bro,
I swear, I
he was
swear.
the last captain to win in England. We've not won a
Bro,
test series
Rahul, are
yet.
you
He was the
seriously
last captain to win in Australia.
Virat Kohli.
Rahul?
It's
Rahul,
Ajinkya Rahane, not Virat Kohli. By the way.
also,
It's
are you
Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli.
Rahul, are you saying
If you
Dravid?
technically go, if you
Stop it,
technically
stop.
go and put who was
No,
India's
he
captain for
wasn't.
that series, it is still Virat Kohli. Although he
No,
captain
it
only
was
one.
not Virat Kohli. It was unfortunately Rahane. We all know.
Virat
No, but
Kohli.
we did. We won the BGT in the first place. Like we won the trophy the first time under Virat only. No.
Yeah, we won it but that was without Warner and Smith.
No,
So
that
let's
is.
Yeah.
I think that we can't include that as a victory in my
Okay.
opinion.
Also, Rahul, keep in mind you're choosing Rahul Dravid over our only other World Cup winning captain who had to play that all-star West Indies team of Kapil Dev. And
I am not. I have nothing. Again, I have sorry, Kapil Dev, because I have never seen you in action. I mean, all the stories are wonderful. I don't think you can really take it past him, of course. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, anyways, I'm just kidding with Dravid, but I still think it's a big feat to go away to England and win a series because we haven't done that for the last 17 years. So yeah, let's just wrap it up with third. I think for me, Virat Kohli comes in there. Adi, quickly top three, fast.
I said my name: Dhoni, Virat, and then Rohit.
Okay, fine.
Again,
Then,
purely based on me not seeing Ganguly.
yeah. Fair enough. Well, that's our top three captains of all time, guys. Also, let us know if you prefer Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli as India captain. Put down your top three all-time captains of India. It's been fun discussing this. I think we should do stuff like this more often. And yeah, everyone like and share the video. Subscribe to SportsKhabri. See you soon.